So here's my Kyosho Inferno Neo ST race spec, I guess it's called. I don't know nothing about this. I haven't been in RC since about 2006, 2007. I think I sold all my stuff in 2007. I used to fly helicopters and race buggies and modify Savages, and just before all this brushless stuff came out, or around that time. Now everything's pretty much electric. Well, I ended up going to the hobby store last Friday and seen this on consignment as a used RC, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to go back to nitro or if I wanted to go electric. My son's got a nice little Stampede electric. It's not brushless, but once he gets used to that thing, then we'll step him up to something a little bit faster, but for now it's pretty good. Like I said, I haven't been in this for a very long time. I used to race Mugen buggies and run RB engines, back in the day, C5s and WS7s or World S7s, whatever. And then they came out with the World S7 too, and that's right around the time I quit racing and playing. So when I first brought it home, being used, I figured it was going to be beat up. Well, it looked like somebody put some break-in time in it, but not very much time at all. Frame wasn't cracked up or scratched up very much at all. Stickers on there. I beat it up a little bit yesterday for the first time, but when I first got it, I couldn't hardly get it started, and I've been out of this for so long I couldn't, get into the rhythm of it, and didn't have the paperwork for it, and couldn't find no info on it, the internet, so after a couple days of messing around with it and realized that it wouldn't run right, so I was like, well, I used to modify my own engines, port and polish the cylinders and clean up the cranks and clean up the cases and everything, and they used to run really good stock engines. Savage 25 back in the day, that was one of the good modified engines I could do pretty easy. On this one, I just took it apart, ended up doing a port and polish on the cylinder. I just, smoothed it out a little bit, made the intake ports a little bit smoother, opened them up a little bit, not inside where the piston's at in the chrome sleeve, but just on the outside on the brass or copper, whatever it is, and put some air seal on it because I'm pretty sure it had a bunch of air leaks. Couldn't find any information on tuning the carburetor, so I went back to the old school days where the low speed needle right there is usually flush with the case of the carburetor, and the idle screw, I could not get anything to work the first day I got it. The idle screw was supposed to be open, I don't know, 3 millimeters or 1.5 millimeters or something like that. I can't remember for sure. And the universal setting for the high-speed needle here is between like 2 and 3, somewhere in there. Depends on your location, your elevation, what kind of fuel you're running. But it's pretty much a stock engine, aside from me porting and polishing it. And right after I did that, the next day, ran some fresh fuel through it and fired right up on the first kick. So I got it primed now. Hopefully it'll do the same thing, and we can get a little bit of runtime on this thing. Make sure that throttle's working right. This radio's pretty cool. All digital, proportional, all kinds of different settings on it. Reminds me back in the day on those old JR XS Pros or whatever, before they came out with this 2.4 gigahertz synchro stuff. See if we can get this puppy fired up. It's kind of cold out. Haven't put a heat gun on it, so it's not warm. I don't like this pull starter, it's kind of finicky, but it works. Let her warm up a little bit before we go ripping it. Get my little tuning driver. Haven't quite tuned it in to best performance. Just trying to get used to this again, so I'm running pretty rich. My buddy ended up getting one of those Savage XL 5.9s or whatever they are. We used to run those all the time. Savage 25s. I had a couple SS models modified with Roddy Rome C5 engines, you know, pull starts. They were badass. While he was breaking that in yesterday, I was, you know, kind of tuning this in a little bit, so I haven't really messed with it too much. So hopefully he'll get that XL broke in here pretty soon. He's been out of it for a long time. I bought his first RC back in, I think, 2005. Which was a Savage RTR 25 model. He beat the piss out of it and loved it, never let him down, never broke. I think the only thing he ever messed up was spur gears on it. But we went to the BMX track, went jumping, and mine was highly modified. All important stuff, you know. Custom knuckles so it could steer just like a buggy. Like I said, C5 RB concept, pull start modified engine, Roddy Rome ported. His never broke, mine always broke. I think this was running yesterday. It was only about 50 degrees out. Running up and down the street, it was probably 198 Fahrenheit, 198 degrees Fahrenheit. Basically on the same tune right now. I think it's 3 turns out on the main needle right now. I'm at about 1 mile elevation up here in Wyoming. Yeah, you can tell it's still a little bit rich. Breaking up pretty good. Good starting point though. Get me used to controlling these things again. Definitely need to upgrade the steering servo. It seems to be working pretty good. It's an aftermarket Futaba 30 or 3305 Metal Gear, something like that. That's just slow. And the throttle servo is really slow. I'm used to running those high-speed digital servos on the throttle back in the day on my buggies. There was no lag, no delay. Left my temp gauge at home, so I can't test the temp or check it. Me being a rookie again. forget things. Depending on your driving style, I think the center diff on this is pretty good. I used to like to slide around corners, power slide, when I was racing my buggies, so I'd have that center diff locked up pretty tight with, you know, pretty heavy duty oil. This one's not so heavy duty. It's got a good combination front and rear traction, so set it up against the wall, it'll climb right up the wall up until it hits the wing, so it's pretty good. If you're in loose stuff, you might want to loosen it up a little bit. Let's bump it up just a little bit. About 1/8 of a turn. Oh yeah. I don't know how well this motor read before I ported it, but it's revving out pretty good now. I might have to go up go up a couple gears on the clutch bell. Runs out of space real quick. Be good for a short track. Oh yeah, and I lost the wheel. That sucks. See it rolling down there? Well, that seems to be one thing that needs fixed. Looks like I need to Loctite those freaking hub nuts. Let's go see what happened here. Good thing I got some more hubs from my Savage days. Alright.